is going to be my April TBR. We are going to be picking out prompts for my April TBR. I cannot believe we're already going to be going into April. It's nuts that it's almost the end of March. We're filming this on the 27th of March, so I pretty much have gotten to all the books that I wanted to read on my March TBR, so the only ones that we didn't get to, I think it was only, I did take off a couple, but honestly, it didn't really affect my TBR too much. The only ones that we didn't get to was the Fireborn trilogy, which I'm still dying to read. So I'm hoping I can incorporate it into April's TBR, because I really would like to read one or two series over this spring. It's just like, I don't know why it takes so much for me to commit to one, but also, like, I almost fell into a slump a couple of weeks ago. I almost fell into my, first really bad reading slump in my entire life, because I don't really fall into slumps, or I just read, things that I know that is not going to, make me not want to read. But honestly, after I DNF'd a book that I thought I was going to really like, that was literally the only other book that I ended up not reading. I really thought I was going to fall into a slump after that. But then after I finished another book last week, I had no idea what I wanted to read. And then I ended up reading one book that I wasn't even sure if I was in the mood to read it. And then I did, and I really, really liked it. And then I just went into 2 mood reads this week. I went into one yesterday. I already finished it because it was only a 200-page book. And then today I also picked a book that wasn't even on my TBR for March either. It is a 2026 release though, and I'm loving it. So I feel like I want to give myself a little bit more wiggle room to mood read this month, but also there are a shit ton of new April releases coming out as well. So I don't know. And if my hair is different, I got my hair cut today. I finally got it chopped off. And also I have a wedding to go to next week, so that's why I really wanted to get it cut. So yeah, we're just going to be using our trusty dusty TBR jar. I added 3 or 4 prompts to this that I thought would be fun. And then also I did start adding certain books to my smaller jar, because there are some books on this cart that have just been on this cart for way too long. They're all standalone books that are in here, because I tried the spinner wheel method and I just didn't like where it was going. And I saw this on Katie Whitrook's, Whitrick's, sorry if I'm saying her last name wrong, on her channel yesterday when I was watching her April TBR video. And she said that she put certain books in this little prompt jar. Well, actually, I think she put them in with her regular TBR jar, but I wanted to keep it separate because, I still want to draw prompts. And then I think I'm going to draw either 1 or 2 books from this jar, or at least 1 a month, because I feel like that's a little bit better. Because if I mood read the books that I've been on this cart for a while, I think that'll be a little bit better. Because again, I really would like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room to actually mood read. Because again, reading is supposed to be fun. So if I'm forcing myself to read something that I really don't feel like reading, why am I doing that? I'll pick it up at the time that I want to read it. So I just really want to have more freedom this month. And also, I'm going to be starting to add rereads every month or every other month. But I did re-listen to Project Hail Mary last week before the movie came out. I finished it actually this past Sunday. So the start of this past week actually. Of this week, oh my god. And we saw the movie on Tuesday, and it was so freaking good. And I'm so happy that I listened to the audiobook this time, because actually I didn't listen to the audiobook the first time around, and I really wanted to refresh my memory, because the last time that I did read that book was I believe February of 2025. So it had been over a year. So I really just wanted to refresh my memory before the movie came out and before I saw it. And it was just so freaking good. And also, I am going to be adding a reread to this month's TBR as well. And we will get to that when, hopefully, well, when I talk about the new releases. Because I want to reread book 1 before book 2 comes out. But I'm going to be trying to read quite a few books that I really loved in the past that I would like to see whether or not I still love them, but also because I really would like to refresh my memory before like book 2 comes out, or like I said, before like a certain movie comes out, if it's getting a movie adaptation, I really would like to reread them, meaning like re-listen to them. Because the only books I'm going to sit down and reread physically are going to be ACOTAR, because obviously everybody knows ACOTAR 6 is coming out in October, okay? So let's just go ahead and start picking some prompts. Okay, let's go ahead and pick the first one. Okay, so, and there are a couple books on the card. Okay, we have 2. I guess we're going to take this one because I already saw what the other one said. So let's take the yellow one. There are a couple on this cart that I'm 100% going to be reading. So, yeah. Anyway, the first prompt that we got is sci-fi. Now, I'm not really sure if any of these are actually sci-fi on my TBR, like, really at all. And what's funny is that I just reread Project Hail Mary, which is a sci-fi book, but also, like, that's really one of the only sci-fi books that I've read. So I really would like to branch out and read a sci-fi book, and honestly, if I put a book on the TBR that isn't even on my TBR, I feel like, you know, that would be a better way to start mood reading a little more. That's the whole point of mood reading. But I really don't know if any of these are sci-fi. Let me check if this one is, because I might want to start this series. Maybe, because I'm supposed to buddy read this with my other book bestie. No, it's not a sci-fi book. I really don't know, actually. Aristotle. This book has been on my TBR for a hot second. I really actually have no idea. It might be, though, and this might be the time to read this book, and I actually would be really excited to read this one because it's gotten so many awards. No, it says LGBTQ romance novel. It is not a sci-fi. That sucks. It just sucks that it's not a sci-fi. I really don't think any of these other ones are sci-fi books. Literally none of these on my cart are sci-fi books. Except for Red Rising. But we're not starting that undertaking. I mean, we could, because the 5th book's supposed to come out in July, but I guarantee they're going to push that back. But, like, why not? You know? Why not? We're going to pull another prompt. Let's see. We're not going to mix it up again because that would be kind of dumb. All right, let's get from, I don't know. Let's get from here. All right, we got this one. We got 2 again. Why do we keep on grabbing 2? All right, let's try this one. We have time travel. Okay. Which one has time travel in it? I'm not really sure, guys. I don't know if any of these have time travel, to be honest. None of these are time travel either. All right, let's just try and pick another one. Hold on. I'm dumb. I do have a sci-fi on this cart. So we are reading The Humans by Matt Haig. We're just gonna do it. This book is like super, super short. And this is a sci-fi book. And it's only 275 pages. So this is going to be the first book that is on my TBR Takedown TBR, where I read books that have been on my cart for too long or books that have been on my TBR for too long. So this is the first one. I've been trying to work through his backlist, but I kind of took quite a bit of a break from him since The Life Impossible. I don't think I've read a book by him since... When did that even come out? Did that come out last year or the year before? But I don't remember reading one of his books in 2025, actually. So I think it's been over a year since I picked up one of his books. So I think it's time. So I'm actually really happy about this choice. This book was not on my TBR, but we're putting it on the TBR because I don't think I've actually put it on a TBR before. So this is the first one. I'm actually really excited about that one. That's a good choice. Go me. Okay, let's put that other prompt back in the jar. And then we're going to try and shake it up again. I think we're only going to pick 6 this time. Because, again, I don't want to be too restricted to the prompts. Let's put it up a little more because you guys can see the bottom of the cart. Depending on who the hell watches these videos, probably nobody. All right, let's pick another one. Okay. All right, let's pick one... Okay, we got this one. Sometimes it's a little hard to pick it out of the jar. But this is the one I was going for. Okay. Robots. Oops. So we got robots. I don't remember what the second prompt was anymore. We got sci-fi. We got... What was the other one? Time travel and robots. It's really wanting me to read something with a sci-fi element. I feel like. Because robots are in sci-fis too, obviously. I don't think I have anything with robots in it. I'm going to be 100% for real for you with you guys. For you guys. I don't think anything has a robot in it. I really don't think so. Damn it. I really don't think so. No. Literally none of these have a robot in it. Even any of these on my cart, they don't have robots in them. I don't think any of them do. Yeah, so, guess we're gonna pick different prompts. Okay, let's see. Alright. Let's just pick this one. Okay, let's try another one. Hopefully I won't put it back again. Series I've been putting off. Okay, so then that means we are going to put Fireborn back on the TBR because I have been wanting to read this book for forever. So I think we're just going to finally do that because I was supposed to read it last month, but I didn't get to it. So your girl's going to try and read it this April. So we're going to put this back on the cart by Rosaria Munda. And I'm really in the mood for some dragons. Okay, The Wings That Bind doesn't really... We need some more dragons, and I really need something with, like, higher fantasy. And these are more, like, YA fantasy, not YA romantasy. And I'm really wanting, like I said, to read more, like, regular fantasy books this year. As opposed to, books that, you know, are just romantasy. Alright, so that, I feel happy about that one. I don't know what the heck just happened. Just fast forward my life right there. That was weird. Okay, let's go ahead and pick another one. Just put the cap back on. I don't know why I screw it on so much. I put it back on. Alright, let's go ahead and see what else we can get on our TBR. Hopefully we can get a new release, but at least we got 2 physical books so far. Okay. Okay, let's just pick something. Alright, we have a bunch, but this is the one my hand is holding, so we're going to pick the blue one. Okay, let's see. Takes place in Long Island. Okay. Huh. I'm not sure if any of these do. I don't think I've had this prompt for a long time. Because I put it in here because it's really fun to watch TBR videos where someone puts a prompt in their jar where they live, you know, place setting on where they live. And usually for me, I usually pick either a Frida book because Frida is a Long Island author. Okay, Miss Frida McFadden. Or this one says Boston, so automatically we can't pick Mad Honey. Or I think Ashley Poston sets a few in Long Island. I'm not sure if 7 Year Slip was. Also, I don't remember who else said it in Long Island. I think Cara Basto might have mentioned it once or twice because, you know, hers are mostly set in New York. I mean, we could do something set in New York as well because, you know, it is close to Long Island because obviously Long Island's in New York. That's a really good prompt. And also, why are all these prompts stumping the hell out of me? Let's see where Mad Wife takes place. If this takes place in Levittown, because it feels like it has like kind of a Levittown-y kind of setting, that would be amazing. I cannot wait to read this. Everyone is reading this right now. But it feels like a very Levittown-y kind of setting. If you guys don't know what Levittowns are, basically Long Island like invented them. Because I mean, if this takes place in Levittown, I would be screaming. Basically, like, you know, it's like the perfect housewife kind of setting. And like Levittowns would be like, you know, stay-at-home wives would, you know, cook dinner for their husbands in the 50s and just, you know, take care of the kids and just clean up the dishes and be a homemaker because like women weren't destined to be like anything else in the 50s. So where does the Mad Wife take place? Just says American suburbia. I think it's a fictional neighborhood. You know, it's kind of inspired by the taking place in Long Island. So is this cheating? Because I really do just want to pick this book, and I think that would be a great prompt for it. Let's see if we can find at least one more option. But honestly, I don't know if any of these other ones take place on Long Island. I don't think How to Write a Love Story does. This takes place on the Irish coast, so clearly not even in the United States. Where does this take place? Nope, this takes place at a college university, but it's not in Long Island. At least I don't think it is. About this one. Nope, definitely not. That says Naples. Honestly, I really don't think any of these other ones do. Setting an atmosphere 1950s Long Island characterized by strict gender roles, conforming to suburban perfection, and the fear of being labeled hysterical. Okay, we're going to pick this because I feel like that is going to be the closest because I feel like it really is heavily inspired by it, but also it says it on Google that it says takes place in Long Island. So we're picking this by Megan Church. She actually used to be a nonfic writer, which I had no idea until I Googled this, of where this takes place. So yeah, we're picking this. I'm so excited. This is actually my book club pick for April, so I knew I really wanted to read this in April anyway. I just actually picked this up like not even 2 weeks ago at like this brand new Long Island, wow. Caitlin, can you be any more Long Island? From this new Long Island bookstore in my town, and I really wanted to support them, so I picked up this book. And also I went to a silent book club like 2 weeks before that in my town, and we had formed a little book club at the last silent book club before that. And we actually just read our first book club pick, which was King of Ashes for March by S.A. Cosby. And then this is our book club pick for April. So it's only like me and like 4 other girls right now. So very excited to start reading that. And also my hairdresser is friends with my book bestie Felicia. And she's, the whole reason why I started going to this hairdresser is because of Felicia, because she's her hairdresser. And she's like a big reader too, and she went to Silent Book Club with us last year, and I asked her when I was there today if you want to start reading the book with us for April, and she was like, yes. She was like, I would love to be part of a book club, and she's so sweet, and I think that she will read the book. And I asked her, do you want to read The Mad Wife? She's like, yes, I would definitely want to read it. So that's going to be great. So it's just so fun. So I finally feel like I'm getting like a little book club actually going. Okay, let's pick, like I said, we're going to pick 3 more. Again, I didn't think I was going to get ones that were going to stump me so much, but we're almost done. Okay. Let's pick from the top. Let's just pick one from here. All right, let's get this one, because we always pick from the bottom. Ooh, YouTuber I love gave 5 stars. Didn't I already do this one? You know, I think I substituted the Goodreads 5-star prediction, or Goodreads gave 5 stars for this one, because I couldn't find one on the Goodreads feed for that prompt. So I just substituted it for a book that I knew that a YouTuber just gave 5 stars recently, and that was The Poet Empress. And I did read that in March, and I loved it. I mean, I could search a little bit for it. But I do know which one. You know what? I think I know exactly which one I'm going to pick, actually. It's not one I have yet. It's a new release that comes out in April. Larry Reed's just rated this 5 stars on her book trip. She got invited by Tahara Mafi to read Release Me by Tahara Mafi early, and she did give it a 5 stars. So I'm going to pick this one, which is Tahara Mafi's new book that's coming out April 7th, which is Release Me. And this is the second book in the spin-off Shatter Me series. And the first one was Watch Me, and I loved it. So I'm really excited to read the second one. It comes out April 7th, and it's the New Republic series, and this is book 2. So great, that's awesome. Let me just throw it out. But yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and pick another one. At least that one wasn't as hard as I thought. I was like, let me go searching, but I'm like, you know what? I think I know exactly what I'm going to pick. So at least it's something that I'm looking forward to coming out, because, you know, you guys know how much I love the Shatter Me series over the This Woven Kingdom series. Like, don't even get me started. I could debate that, like, forever. Okay, let's go ahead and pick another one. Let's just pick something random. That's the point. Okay. I feel good about these picks. Okay. smutty. We're getting some interesting prompts this time. Okay, maybe we will pick eight prompts, but we're not picking 10. Okay, smutty. Do I have anything that romantic-y? What I mean, I do, but it's a YA romantic-y. I mean, none of these are really that smutty, to be honest. Honestly, really none of these are. Wow, Caitlin, why is this such a challenge for you? I might pick another new release, but I really would like to pick another physical book. I mean, some of them could be, but you don't know. Let's try and pick one more. So annoying, dude. Okay, let's go ahead and pick another prompt. Let's go ahead and pick this one. Why are these prompts so... Alright, we picked 2. Let me see which one is better. One word title. Okay, I just put this one in the jar. You know what? Do we have anything with a one-word title besides, like, 2 books? I mean, Fireborn does, so we already picked that. None of these other ones do. Great. Hell. Legendborn does, but I wasn't going to read that because I'm reading Fireborn. But we could start the series, but also I don't really want to do that to myself. Literally, that's it. Okay, what's the other one? Because I literally just added that prompt. Oh, long title. I just added this prompt too. That's funny. I have like 2 on my TBR that are actually really long. That are like 7-word titles. Actually like 3. But they're all books I don't own physically. I mean, as long as The Lemon Trees Grow is 7 words, but I wasn't going to pick that up this month. The other 2 are Don't Tell Me How It Ends, which is 6 words, which is an arc that I received like 2 months ago. And the other one is a new release that's coming out in April as well. They're both coming out in April. And that is The Weekend Doesn't End Well for Anyone. And that is 7 words. And that is the next book and the 3rd book in the, what's the series called? The Vacation Mystery Series, I think it's called. Like the first one is called Every Time I Go on Vacation Somebody Dies. That one is also 7 words. So the titles usually are pretty long. Yeah, I think we're going to do the long title because the other 2 I can't even do. And also, like, I think I'm going to pick Don't Tell Me How It Ends. Because I really do want to read that before it comes out. I mean, I'm going to read the other one anyway, and I usually audiobook those ones. The ones in the Vacation Mystery series. And even though it is a bit of a longer title, I still am going to read this anyway before the book comes out. Because I did actually just receive this. Like, I didn't even request it. Just the publisher or whoever or press agent sent, oh my god, sent, not set. Sent it to me from NetGalley, so I really would like to read it. How many times can I rhyme? So let me just bring it up really quick. So it's called Don't Tell Me How It Ends by Adrian Thurman. And it's a romance. And I mean, technically we could do it with the smutty prompt as well. This one takes place in Connecticut, so at least it doesn't take place in Long Island, if I could speak. It says, a floundering 20-something who's sworn off romance finds herself roped into the meddling sisters' matchmaking business in the sparkling debut rom-com that asks, can we protect ourselves while falling in love? Okay, so I'm interested in that. So we have a couple of romances on the TBR for this month. Okay, let's try and get maybe one more physical book on the TBR. Maybe, or maybe we will pick 8 prompts. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll pick 2 more and then one from the other jar. I think that would be better. Okay, let's go ahead and pick another one. Okay, let's pick this one. Okay. This also, again, the colors do not mean a damn thing. I picked this one the last TBR, but I didn't have a current fave author. But that's what this one says. Current fave author. My current fave author is the book I'm reading right now, but I can't pick that one. Again, why are we picking so many that I actually can't do? Because the whole point of these is to pick books that... Well, you know what? Let's just do this one because she's always one of my favorite authors, and I am going to read this in April anyway, so I'm going to pick The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Everyone's been telling me to read this book in April. Well, not even in April, but Felicia will not stop pushing me to read this book next by Kristen Hanna, so I'm like, I'm finally going to read it. And I wanted to read this when it started getting warmer because it kind of takes place over the summertime. But since it's in April, it is warming up. So we're going to finally pick The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. So we're just going to do that. I don't think I put it in the other jar for books that have been in my TBR for too long. But honestly, I feel like I'm ready to read another book by her. And this is probably going to be the last book that I read from her for quite a while. I just have been wanting to work on all the bigger books by her. Like, I've read The Nightingale, I've read Firefly Lane, I've read The Women, and I've read The Great Alone, and this is the last one that I have to read. So after I read this, I'll feel really good about banging out her, like, really popular books. And these are, like, the top most popular books, so, by her. So I think that's the way to go. And I think that's, you know, smart. You guys don't really need to see the stickers. Can I actually speak English? All right, let's pick one more, and then we'll do the one that's for books that I've been on my TBR for too long. Okay, let's do 7. I think that's better. My hand is getting tired from shaking up this jar. You know what? Let's use my left hand. Maybe that might be a little bit easier. Okay. Let's pick from the top again. Okay. Let's go ahead and just pick anything from the top. All right. We got this one. Okay. We got 2 actually. Again, let's figure out which one, because I grabbed them both at the same time that actually fit better. I actually know exactly which one I want to pick for this. This one is Fairy Tale Vibes, and I'm pretty sure I know which one I could pick. Oh, this one says mood read. This one says mood read. You know what? We're just going to pick both of them. That is absolutely perfect, actually. So we don't have to pick another one. So, remember when I said I want to mood read more and then we picked the mood read prompt? So actually that makes me really happy. Which one am I in the mood to read though? Because I actually picked the ones that I really wanted to read in April. Let's see. I am in the mood to read. I actually think I know which one I want to read. I feel like one of these has been really calling my name over the last like day or two. For some reason, I've just been thinking about it. I don't know why. Well, also because it's been on my TBR for a long time. Or we could pick this one actually, because I keep on pushing this book off. And I've been getting so in the mood to read it lately. I think we're going to pick this one. It's between this one and one other one. Well, this one gives fairy tale vibes as well. This one we're going to pick for fairy tale vibes, actually. We're going to do The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. I wanted to read this in March, but I just didn't get to it. And this book has been on my TBR for a long time. So we're going to pick The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. I'm actually very excited about that one. And this will be my last book of the month book that I own. Finally, that I'll get off my TBR. And again, I've had this book for too long, so that's actually really perfect. So I'm very happy about that one. And then for a mood read, I'm going to pick, I'm pretty sure I am going to pick this one. I don't want to pick a Kindle book, even though there is one I'm in the mood to read on Kindle, but we're not doing that. I want to pick books that are physical. I think I have a good feeling about this one, but I do have two choices. So we either have Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult, or we have this one. This is actually the one I've been really in the mood to read, though, and that is The Bookshop of Second Chances by Jackie Fraser. I think we're going to pick this one. I don't know. I just really want to read this one. This would have been perfect for bookish vibes, though. Because, you know, it has a freaking bookstore on the freaking cover. Let me see which one. This one says, a woman desperate to turn a new page heads to the Scottish coast and finds herself locked in a battle of wills with an intriguingly aloof bookseller in this utterly heartwarming... Yeah, I want to read this one. We're going to read this one because, I don't know, I just really want something with, like, bookish vibes. Even though I just read The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop, I just want to read this. And I think we're going to keep the TBR just these books. We're not going to, like, pick out, like, a million other physical books because I feel like, you know, like I said, the TBR, this is actually a good way to get actually through the books that I'm in the mood to read, but again, books that I picked from the TBR jar, because like I said, I want to kind of pick them more for, like, the books that I'm in the mood to read, as opposed to, like, sticking to the TBR like crazy. And I think that is a very good way to do it. So I'm not going to read this. The only reason why I was going to read this in April, I think I'm going to read this in May, though. I really would like to read her soon because I haven't read any of her books. And again, Felicia keeps on pushing me to read Jodi Picoult. But Jodi Picoult was actually doing an event in April, but neither of my book besties can go with me, so I don't think we're going. But that would have been awesome, but that would have been the only reason why I would have read this. But I still want to read it anyway, just today is not the day. Alright, so that actually really works out. Yeah, and now we're going to pick one from the jar, because we actually ended up picking 6 books, and 2 that aren't out yet. So that actually makes me really happy. Okay, so now let's pick from this jar. Do we want to pick 10 though? Because maybe we'll pick 2 from this jar. Who knows? Let's go ahead and see what the first one is going to be. It's a little bit harder to get these out of here. All right, let's go ahead and let's fish out one at least. Okay, we got 2. Let's see what the options are. But my hand is touching this one. Oh no, we're not reading that. Hell no, we're not reading that one. Oh, that's really funny. That's really funny. I just picked The Bookshop of Second Chances as my mood read, and that's the one we end up pulling from the jar. The other one was Scythe. I really don't want to read that right now. Why does this happen to me? What's the point of putting these in the jar if I'm not going to read them? I don't know. Scythe is the start of a series. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what? I'm not going to keep this one in the jar. I don't know why I did that. And this one I'm going to take out because we already picked it. All right, let's pick a different one. Let me shake it up again. Why is this happening to me today? But you know what? The ones that we've drawn over, the prompts that we've gotten, I've actually been really happy with my picks. All right, let's see. I don't know how to do this without, like, I don't know if I should just pour it out. All right, let's just go ahead and pick one. Let's pick this one. Fuck it. And, oh, okay. This one's been on my TBR for so long. Yes. Okay, God of Endings. Yes. We're reading this. Yes, we are reading this. Okay, that actually makes me really happy. Maybe we might push something else because we have like 10 billion books on the TBR this month. But I'm not going to be reading all of these new releases. I'm just saying what new releases are coming out. I have a shit ton of books on my TBR, but that doesn't mean we're reading all of them. So I may take off quite a few. All right, The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland, not Howard. Oh, this is perfect. So I can do this one, The Humans, The Bookshop of Second Chances, in a TBR takedown video. Oh, that's good. That's a good TBR for that video. Okay. And this one I'm trying to put in my current one. And The Four Winds I'm just going to read because we know we're going to get to all of Chris and Hannah's books eventually anyway. I don't have to be pushed to read it. Okay, that makes me happy. That makes me happy. Even though, you know, I kind of curated everything for my liking, but who cares? It's my fucking TBR. And actually, that ended up picking ones that weren't on my TBR originally. I picked like 3 that I didn't write down. That makes me so happy. All right, let's go through them really quick. You guys, I'm so freaking excited about this stack. There's like 7 physical books here, but honestly, like, this is probably the happiest that I've been picking out a TBR because I'm like, I just need to freaking curate it to mood read because that's like the most enjoyable time that we have reading is what we're in the mood to read. So this is the April TBR. Such a good stack. All right, the first one is a sci-fi, which is The Humans by Matt Haig. Also, he's one of my current fave authors as well. I've read 4 of his books before. Series I've been putting off, which is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. I am binging the shit out of this mid-April. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read that. Maybe we'll move Daughter of the Moon Goddess to May. I think that would be better. Just less overwhelm myself quite a bit. And then we can take Mad Honey off of this as well. So that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's way better. And then we're going to add the other ones. Then The Mad Wife by Megan Church, which is a book that is set in Long Island. I'm counting it for this because I'm sure Long Island inspired this book to a T. Then we have The Bookshop Second Chances by Jackie Fraser, which is just a mood read. Super excited for this one. Then we have God of Endings, which is the one that got picked from the books that have been on my TBR for too long by Jacqueline Holland, I mean. Then we have current fave author, which is obviously Chris and Hannah, The Four Winds. So excited for this one. Excited to cry again. And then the last one is Fairy Tale Vibes, which is The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. Yay! I'm so excited for these. How many times can I say that? But it's just it's a really good TBR, so I'm happy about those. Okay, and the last 2 non-physical books that we have for the prompts is YouTuber I Love Gave 5 Stars, which is Release Me by Tara Mafi. Of course, we're 100% reading that this month. And then the last one is Long Title, which is Don't Tell Me How It Ends by... I still forget the author's name. I am sorry. Adrian Thurman. Very excited for this one as well. So yeah, that is the TBR for April. I'm not going to add any more books. I'm just going to tell you guys what new releases are coming out and which ones I am definitely going to be reading and which ones I don't really care that much about. But I'm still going to tell you guys what the new releases are actually. But before we do that, I just wanted to refresh your memory on the books that are coming out March 31st that I will be reading the first week of April. Because I'm starting April with these 4 books. There are 4 books coming out March 31st that I'm going to be reading as soon as they come out. So I think I mentioned 2 of them. No, I think I only mentioned 2 of them. But there's 2 other ones that are coming out March 31st that I'm 100% reading as well. I'm going to go move to the desk, though, because I can't sit like this anymore. It's hurting my legs. Hold the phone. Okay, so let's refresh your memory on the books that are coming out on the 31st that I'm going to be reading. One of them is I'm going to be audiobooking, and the other 3 I'm definitely going to be reading them. So the first one I think I told you about, hold on. And we're also going to be reading Splintered soon, and that's the other book that's been on my TBR for a while, so that's why I didn't put that in the jar, because I added that to my TBR like all 3 months of this year so far, and I still haven't read it, so I'm reading it next. Okay, so the first one is Starside by Alex Astor, and this one's coming out March 31st. This is Alex Astor's first adult romantic novel, so very excited for this one. Again, I'm not reading a damn thing about it. I want to go in so blind. I don't know if this is the start of a series. I don't know if it's a standalone, but it only says Starside, so it doesn't say like book 1 in this certain series, so I'm assuming it might be a standalone. I'm hoping, but we'll see. And then the other one that I'm going to be audiobooking is the 3rd book in the Into Darkness trilogy. So this is the 3rd and final book. So I will be finishing a series once I finish this one, and that is Game On by Navessa Allen. And this is the 3rd book, again, in the Into Darkness series. I'm not going to read about this one either or read the synopsis. I'm just for refreshing your memory. It's a dark romance. I read the first 2 books. I really loved Lights Out. Really did not like Caught Up, but I've been hearing better reviews about Game On, or seeing better reviews about it. So I think she learned that like a lot of people didn't like Caught Up, including myself. So I'm hoping that she fixed that, because I have a feeling she did. So, because I feel like Navessa Allen will just improve on things, because again, Lights Out was so good. So yeah, definitely reading that. Okay, this one, I believe that's the name. No, let's just type in the author. I'm not sure if that's right. I think it's The Faraway Inn, actually. Let me just type it in. Yes, okay. So, actually, an author that I met back at Comic-Con, and also she is doing a book signing here. I think the end of next week, or like mid-April. I know it's like the 1st or 2nd, maybe it's April 8th. I think it's April 8th. So Sarah Beth Durst is coming out with a new book on the 31st. I had no idea. I love how I said Durst on 31st. Let me just rhyme again. And obviously I'm going to be reading it because I love her books, and that is The Faraway Inn by Sarah Beth Durst. This one is also, again, coming out on the 31st. So I'm 100% reading this as well. And this one says, I had no idea she was coming out with a new book this soon. She banks out books pretty quickly. The Enchanted Greenhouse came out in like July or August, and this one's coming out in March. So it's only been like 6 months. So I just want to read a bit of the synopsis of this one. So it says, after a devastating heartbreak, a teen girl decides to spend her summer helping her eccentric great aunt hiding a magical secret. Wait, let me read that again. Help her great aunt manage her quaint Vermont inn, but this fixer-upper is hiding a magical secret. Let's not jump ahead, Caitlin. In this cozy, new, irresistible new fantasy, 16-year-old Kaliza, I love that name, is desperate for a change of scenery after her lying ex ruins her perfect Brooklyn summer. When her parents suggest she head to rural Vermont. Okay, so this takes place in Vermont. To help her great aunt run her cozy bed and breakfast for a few months, she jumps at the chance. But when Kalisa arrives at the B&B, she's shocked to find a rundown inn with only a handful of guests. And to make matters worse, upon meeting with her great aunt, it quickly becomes clear that Kalisa was not invited. Okay, that's all I'm going to read because we don't need to read the whole thing, but I'm 100% reading that. That sounds so fun. Okay, and then the last one that's coming out March 31st, which I really want to read this one as well. And this one is Megan Lawley, right? Megan Lawley's new release, which is What We Did to Survive. Really want to read this one too, because I think this is one of the only thrillers that I have on my TBR in March/April. Because again, I'm not reading it until April anyway. And Megan Lawley writes really bingeable short YA thrillers that are honestly like so good. That's Not My Name. I gave 5 stars. No Place Left to Hide. I think I gave like a 4-ish. A lot of people thought that No Place Left to Hide was not as good as That's Not My Name. Again, myself included, but I think this is going to be a banger because it takes place on the water. That's Not My Name took place like in a cabin, like a remote cabin in the woods, and No Place Left to Hide was a car chase, and now this one's on the water. And No Place Left to Hide, there was a boat involved at some point too. So I have no idea what this one is about. So this one says, a vacation in paradise turns deadly when 4 teens sailing charter hits stormy seas in this propulsive new thriller. Hannah is having an incredible spring break, a week at a resort in Mexico with her best friend Emmy, and her family is perfect for de-stressing from senior year, even if it's awkward being around Emmy's older brother, Jackson, who she's had a crush on for as long as she can remember. Still, the beach is gorgeous, so is the guy they meet in the surf. Except Hannah is now the third wheel in Emmy's vacation romance. Eager to impress Emmy, her wealthy new boyfriend charters a private sailboat to make the most of their last day in paradise, and Hannah and Jackson are invited along. As the clouds roll in and the skies darken, their boat is the only one leaving the marina. And the further they get into open water, the more unsettled Hannah becomes. A storm is brewing on board that's as deadly as the one racing toward them. Forget surviving graduation, who will make it back to the land alive. That sounds so good. Definitely 100% reading that. Okay. So now let's go into the other new releases that are coming out in April. I actually have already read 2 of them. But let's talk about the ones that are coming out on April 7th. So like I mentioned, the first one is Release Me by Tahira Mafi. I'm not going to talk about it again, but that one is coming out April 7th, and we're 100% reading that. I can't wait for that book. And the other one, which is on a lot of people's list, I don't know if I'm going to read this right away, because honestly, I really didn't get the hype about this book for the first one, and that is the sequel to Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, and that is Rights of the Starling. This one is also coming out April 7th. Again, I'm not going to read anything about the synopsis because, just in case, people have, not read the first one yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to read it because honestly, I didn't love Shield of Sparrows, or if I do, I'm not going to read it when it comes out because I really have no interest in reading it right away. Because, book 1 was not good enough for me to be like, oh my god, I have to jump into book 2. But also, I remember a lot about book 1 that, and I did read it pretty much after it came out, but that's when I got obsessed with Silver Elite because they both came out on the same day. But now they're both having their own moments where this one's coming out in April and Broken Dove is coming out in May. So they at least broke it up so they can each have their own moment. But y'all know how excited I am for Broken Dove, but that's in May. So we're not sure if I'm going to read it this month. I'll let you know. Okay, and then I believe there's one more on this list that I'm reading. Oh, there's actually 2. There's one I've already read. Let's talk about that one. I got the ARC back in January, and I read it at the end of February because I could not wait to read this book, and I loved this book. I gave it a 5 stars, and I'm going to post my review of it very soon. And this one, again, comes out the same day, April 7th. And that is Unbound by Peyton Curran. One of my favorite romances that I've read this entire year. I loved this one even more than The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. That one was a little bit disappointing for me, I'm not going to lie. And Abby Jimenez is one of my favorite authors ever. But I feel like with Peyton Curran's books, her books just get better and better and better. And I think I already talked about this in my February wrap-up, so I won't, talk about it too long. But I adore this series. I think this series is amazing. And like I said, I think that this one broke my heart. This one I definitely cried a couple of times. It was just so, so, so good. But again, check your trigger warnings because there are some things that are a little bit triggering. Okay. And then the next one, which a lot of people are talking about right now, it's another romance book. I'm not sure if I'm going to read this. We'll see. Actually, no, this doesn't come out till the 14th. That might lead me into all the other books that are coming out on the 14th. Okay, so let's talk about this one first because we already brought it up. And again, that is Happy Ending by Chloe Lice. I don't know how to say her last name. This is her last name. So I think it's a summer romance. So honestly, I don't think I'm going to read this until the summertime. I don't think I'm even going to pick this up in April. But we can talk about it for a little bit. Okay, Thea and Alex have 3 things in common. They love food, they hate where they live, and they're both divorced. Otherwise, they couldn't be more different. Thea's never cooked a day in her life. Alex is a world-class chef. Alex resents feeling stuck in his hometown. Thea resents the town for not feeling more like home. Thea and her ex are in a contentious custody battle for their dog. Oh, I think I did hear about this. It actually sounds really funny. Alex and his ex amicably co-parent their daughter. Beyond a few friends in common, a couple small world connections, welcome to life in a mid-sized city, their lives look nothing alike. Fast forward 2 years and they're truly the best of friends. Okay, that sounds really cute. We'll see about that one. If I'm in the mood for it, I will read it. Okay, and then the next one that's coming out the same day, I don't know if both of these are. Oh, actually, well, we're going to be reading this one because we have the arc and I did talk about it. I believe this one comes out the 14th. Yeah, I think we just talked about it, so we're not going to talk about it too long, which is Don't Tell Me How It Ends by Adrienne Thurman. So this one does come out April 14th as well, so we're definitely going to be reading that one. And then I actually got the arc for this one too. I just got the arc today. I got a lot of April arcs. Well, I mean, it's only 3. It's not insane. Honestly, I've been really happy with the arcs that I've gotten this year because I've only gotten a couple, but I've gotten ones that I've really wanted. This one is probably the one that I'm the most excited for though, if I could speak English. And that is the second book in the Rose Bargain duology. So it's only a duology, but that is The Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith. I just got the arc of this morning, so I'm 100% going to be reading this one. And we're going to be segueing into my reread for April. Again, I really would like to incorporate more rereads over the course of the year, like audiobooking them. I do have this book on Libby already, and I'm so excited to listen to the first book again, which is The Rose Bargain. Obviously, that's what the duology is called. So we are going to be listening to that before The Thorn Queen so I can refresh my memory. And also the audiobooks for these are so fucking good. I really wish that I did have the audiobook of this, but I can't be complaining because I got it in advance. So I'm hoping to read it at least a week before it comes out because I would like to listen to The Rose Bargain. So probably during that time, I'm going to be listening to that and reading Don't Tell Me How It Ends and try to get those done and then read The Thorn Queen, hopefully a couple of days before it comes out. So very excited for this one. Not going to say anything about it. It's basically the Selection meets Bridgerton. That's what most people describe it as. I just don't want to spoil anything if if you guys haven't read the first one, but the first one was a pretty big hit and it's such a great book. It's such a good book. I love it. So I'm so excited to reread it before the second book comes out. And honestly, when I re-listened to Project Hail Mary, that kind of made me excited to read again because that was also after we DNF'd A Love Letter to Whiskey. So that was the book that I ended up DNFing. But then I read Daggermouth by H.R.M. Wolf, and oh my God, that book was so perfect. And then I listened to Project Hail Mary again, and I was like, okay, this is why I'm a reader. So, and then in May, we are going to be re-listening to Silver Elite, because obviously we have to listen to that before the second book. Like, duh. It's just the first week of May is only going to be about the second book in Silver Elite. I literally do not care what other book is coming out in May besides that one. So, because I'm literally obsessed with the first one. Oh, I forgot one other one that's coming out April 7th, because I've also already read this one as well. So these ones were just a little bit weirdly released, but I am going to be picking up a physical copy of it. Never mind, this comes out the 16th of April. Okay, so perfect segue, because I don't think anything else comes out the 14th. I think it was just those two, possibly. If not, then we'll talk about them anyway. I think there's only a couple more that we have on this list, not too many left. And that is The Tempest Blade by Daniel L. Jensen. I already listened to this on Audible back in December, and I loved it. You guys know I binged the crap out of the Bridge Kingdom series back in October. And then this one was only available on Audible. The physical copy was not published yet, because I believe that she wrote these like a while back, and then all of them got new covers and got republished. But also, like, people have been waiting for the 6th book in this series. Originally, everybody thought it was only supposed to be 2 duologies, but apparently it's 3. So this one is coming out. I rated this book 6 stars. I fucking loved it. I might even re-listen to it. I'm not sure yet, but that will mean I have to listen to like 4 books just on audio, which would be Game On, The Rose Bargain, this book, and I forget what the other one was. I was thinking about reading The Impossible Fortune finally, but I'm just not going to have time for it again. I'd rather read those more so in like the cozier months, like September, October, but I really need to finish that series as well. Okay, next up, we do have 2 more that I have on the TBR that I need to talk about, but let's talk about the rest of the new releases. There's just so many. Which one was the one? Okay. Okay, we only have 4 more. Okay, so this one, I absolutely love the first one of this one, and one of my book besties actually read the first one, and then she gave it to me so I could read it, and I absolutely loved it, so I'm very excited to read this one. And this is the second book in the Everly Hollow series. This is actually, she's a little bit of a smaller, less well-known author, but I love the first one. There's like no reviews or ratings of this. It just says it's coming out the 21st. So this one is called The Honeybee Cafe, which is the second book, again, in the Everly Hollow book series, and that is coming out April 21st. So look at this cover. So freaking cute. I love the first one so much. I don't know. It just says a spicy paranormal romantasy in an enchanted small town. Okay, very excited for that. I'm not going to read the synopsis because I don't feel like it, but also, like, they're just so cute. I don't think you have to read them in order either. I think you can read them in whatever order you want. I'm pretty sure they're interconnected standalones. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they are. Okay, the next one is the one I was talking about. This is the other one that I'm going to be audiobooking. Duh. And this is the third book. Yes, I was right about the title of this series. Is the Vacation Mystery series, and this one is called This Weekend Doesn't End Well for Anyone by Catherine Mack. So I'm very excited for this one. I love the first 2. I almost was thinking about reading No One Was Supposed to Die at the Wedding again, but we can't do 5 billion rereads, so but these books aren't really that hard to understand. They're kind of like, again, interconnected standalones, and they're really funny. They're just fun murder mystery. And this one comes out April 28th. So more towards the end of the month. So if I don't get to it in April, it's not a huge deal. I'll just listen to it like the first week of May. And then the next one, actually, I think this one comes out earlier in the month as well. But this one is by one of my favorite authors, and I could have actually picked this one for current fave author, but this one also comes out the 28th. So again, if we don't read this exactly in April, it's okay. And this is TJ Klune's newest release, and that is going to be We Burned So Bright. Cannot wait for this. I absolutely love TJ Klune's writing. I have now read 4 books by TJ Klune. I've read The House of the Cerulean Sea duology, which apparently there's supposed to be a 3rd book. I think this is supposed to be a spin-off of that, actually. I'm not really sure. No, it's a standalone. Never mind. At least this is a standalone, which is awesome. And I did read 2 of his standalones, which was Under the Whispering Door, which is one of my favorite books of all time. It's still my favorite TJ Klune book. It's a 6-star read for me. I love it. And then the other one I did read back in January of this year. So I've already read 1 book by him this year, and that is The Bones Beneath My Skin. I absolutely love that book as well. I gave it a 5-star. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Not going to read this synopsis either because I really love going into his books blind, and they always make me cry. I love his books so much. Okay, and then the next one is a sequel. I don't think I need to re-listen to this one either, but I did actually listen to this one via audio as well, so I might just listen to the audiobook of this one too. This one also comes out the 28th of April, so a lot of books coming out at the end of the month as well. And that is The Sea Spinner by Julie Johnson. Very excited for this one too. The first book is called The Wind Weaver, and it's the Reign of Remnants series, and I did listen to that book. I'm not sure when. I think it was last summer, like July or August, I believe. It was only out for like a couple of months before that. It doesn't say when I finished it. It just says 8 months ago, so I guess that was like July or August last year. Yeah, July. That's what it says. I don't know why I didn't just check the dates before. But yeah, it's so good. I'm very excited to read that one. Really enjoyed the first one. And then the last one on my new release list. Again, so many. And that is, I don't even remember who this is by. This one is a new release by Jordan Stephanie Gray. This one actually comes out the 7th as well. Sorry, I didn't realize that it came out very early in the month. And that is The Wicked Sea by, again, Jordan Stephanie Gray. This is her newest release. I've only read 1 book by her, and that is Bitten. I was like, where are her books? Okay, she has 2 books coming out this year. The second book comes out October 6th in the Bitten series, which is called Devoured. I just saw that right now. Again, so many books are coming out in October. I can't even think about it. Don't even want to talk about that. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of new books coming out at the end of this year. ACOTAR 6 and Quicksilver 3 and the 3rd book in, why am I saying 4 when I only talked about 3? And the 3rd book in the Heavenly Bodies series. And then we also have the 3rd book in the Kisses of Basilisk series. We have the 2nd book in Bitten. We also have the 2nd book in the Immortal Consequences series, which is like a prequel. So yeah, those are all the April releases that are on my radar. We will adjust the list accordingly to see which ones I actually really want to read. And then we do have 2 more books that I did put on my April TBR that I didn't talk about yet. Which is one that just came out. I believe this just came out like a week or 2 ago. And this would be a Kindle read because honestly, we don't really have that many Kindle reads this month. So the first one is Mayhem and the Mortal by Shanora Williams. This one came out March 17th. And this one sounded really, really fun. So this one says, 1 mission, 1 curse, no escape. Zara doesn't want a hero. She needs a weapon. To save her sister from a soul-devouring curse, she has to cross the Shallows, a nightmare landscape of ruined magic, shifting paths, and vicious creatures that eat people alive. Her guide, Thane Valcor. Sorcerer, assassin, walking red flag. His name clears rooms, his magic kills quietly, and whatever he's really after, it's not salvation. He promises to help, he might even mean it, but Zara knows better than to trust a liar with a blade and ice in his veins. She just doesn't have a choice. That sounds so fun. So I'm thinking about reading that one. And then the last one, I am definitely reading because the show is coming out in April, and this book has been on my radar for quite a while. And that is Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufi Thorpe. I'm definitely reading this in April because the show is coming out mid-April on Apple TV. So I really want to read the first one. I've been seeing the trailers for it, and I'm very excited to read it. I'm just going to borrow it from the library. So yeah, very excited for that one. I am so sick of talking now, so I think we're going to end it here. So we have 3. Let me just curate my TBR really quick. Hold on. Let me see how many books are actually going to be on it. Okay, so as of right now, I only have 18 books on my TBR. The other ones are all audiobooks because the Rose Bargain is going to be a reread audio. And then there's 3 audiobooks that are on my TBR that are new releases coming out, which again is Game On, The Weekend Doesn't End Well for Anyone, or The Sea Spinner. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's really good. And I kind of curated it so I wasn't like going crazy because like honestly, if I think I overwhelm myself too much with too many books on the TBR, I just don't want to read them. So I think if I do it this way, yeah. Well, actually it's 19 books, but still that's still good because I usually get through about 20 books a month. I'm already on my 22nd book this month, or I think the 21st book this month, which is crazy. Yeah, my 21st book. So I'm still going to get through like 20 books. So I think that's perfect. And if I keep those other books as audiobooks, and I just put Rights of Starling and The Wicked Sea as maybes. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So I'm going to shut up. I actually put Mayhem and the Mortal on my list for April because it is a Kindle read. And I kind of want something that I want to read on my Kindle because most of the other ones are physical books or books that I am going to be reading on Kindle or just like buying and returning. So we'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Goodreads and my TikTok in the description box below. I will leave the links down there. And I hope you guys have a great day and let me know which books you're reading for April. And if you're reading any of these, let me know. Are you excited for any of these new releases? Have you read any of these books? Do you care? So yeah, that's it. And keep reading. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I have one physical copy of a book that is already on my TBR for April. But I have 2 other books that I'm going to be adding. Well, I'll tell you guys why. One I just forgot to talk about because it's my buddy read with Felicia. And the other one is fulfilling a prompt that I actually already read the book today. I finished it today. I just really wanted to read it. So anyway, the first one is obviously a new release, but my Barnes & Noble had it early tonight, and that is The Faraway Inn by Sarah Beth Durst. I already talked about this, that it was coming out March 31st, but sometimes they have them out like a day or 2 early, especially if it's like a highly anticipated release. So I just wanted to show you guys the physical copy. I just love her book covers. I mean, this looks very similar to the Spell Shop Inn, and then this is what the sprayed edges look like. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Look at how beautiful these edges are. I kind of just want to keep this for the edges. Like, honestly, it's so beautiful, but I really love her books. I've only read 2 of her books so far. I've read the Spell Shop series, The Spell Shop, and The Enchanted Greenhouse. This is now going to be my 3rd book by her. And I kind of want to read this before she has an event here next week. I've already met her, but I haven't gotten any of my books by her signed. And I really want her to sign this one. And I'm probably going to bring the Spell Shop with me for her to sign that one because I do own it. So, because I don't know why I didn't bring it with me to have her sign it at Comic-Con. Because I didn't feel like, buying another copy there. And I had already read The Enchanted Greenhouse like earlier that year, like when it came out. So I'm going to try and read this before the event, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to, because, you know, I kind of already started another book that was on my April TBR as well. I'm probably not going to finish it till April 1st, so it still counts for April, but anyway, very excited for this one. I just wanted to show you guys I got the physical copy. And then the next one is one that I forgot to talk about, and again, this is me and Felicia's buddy read for April, and that is Theo of Golden by Alan Levy. This book is absolutely everywhere right now, and I'm very excited to read this. It's like it's pretty short. So the two books that me and Felicia picked, you know, was The Mad Wife and Theo of Golden, and I actually already started The Mad Wife tonight by Megan Church. I was just so in the mood to read it after I finished the other book that was technically on my April TBR, but I ended up putting it in my TBR takedown video, and I just finished filming that because I wanted to just finish like a super short book for that, and also that book's been on my TBR for so long, and that is The Humans by Matt Haig. So I already finished it. I loved it. Spoiler alert, I freaking loved it. So you're going to see my thoughts in my March reading wrap up, which I cannot believe it's March 31st. But anyway, very excited to read this. Why am I rambling so much? I am so freaking tired too. I had such a day. Like, I didn't even do that much, but I mean, I did do a lot, but also I'm not sleeping 99% of the time, so there's that. But also I'm just like so freaking exhausted right now. So anyway, very excited to read this. It's number 1 on like the New York Times paperback list, and also number 1 on the, I believe, general fiction list. So, and it's been number 1 for like weeks. So I'm very excited to read this. I'm not going to read the synopsis. I kind of just want to go into it. I mean, I've already read the synopsis, but the synopsis doesn't make it sound that interesting. But everybody's saying that this is a tearjerker at the end. So, yeah, very intrigued to read that. And the other one, I didn't even know that this book was coming out. I think I saw it on a Goodreads ad like 2 days ago, and I was like, oh. And the cover is so pretty. I actually like this cover a hell of a lot more than the first book's cover. So I read Conform by Ariel Sullivan back in mid-February. I had like a readathon during one of the blizzards, but one of my clips got compromised, and it ended up being that I just ended up reading 2 books in it. So I just decided to scrap the video because my readathon videos always end up getting messed up. I don't know why, but anyway, I didn't even know this book was coming out, and I saw an ad on my Goodreads like 2 days ago for this, and that is the prequel to Conform, which is called Beneath by Ariel Sullivan, and I picked this up at my Barnes & Noble earlier today, actually earlier tonight, and look at this. It's so pretty. I love the way it reflects, and then this is what the like end papers look like. They're pretty cool. And then it does have a little design on the cover. I'm probably not even going to keep this book, though, because I didn't love Conform. But I saw reviews for this that this one might be even better. And I think I want to put this on my April TBR because I do want to read it this month. And also, it's considered a sci-fi dystopian fantasy. So I'm going to use this for the sci-fi prompt in replacement of The Humans, because again, I already read it, so that's just going to count for my March TBR. It's not even going to count for my April one. So this is going to replace it. I'm so happy that I actually got this because I had no idea this is a sci-fi, but technically it kind of is. So, I mean, I looked it up on Google and it says it's a sci-fi dystopian. So, yeah, so it's perfect. And I love how this is literally like the only other sci-fi book that is on like more my priority TBR, or like books that I know that I'm going to read sooner than Red Rising. So, because Red Rising is the only other sci-fi series that I own. And I think Scythe is as well, but we're not reading that book. Like, I picked it, but I was not reading it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about those. Again, The Fairway Inn was already on my TBR for this month, but I'm excited to read the other two. Beneath, I'm probably going to read later in the month, but it did just come out like last week. It came out last Tuesday, so it is a new release. So I'm really haven't taken that long to read it. And again, I didn't even know it was coming out. Because the second book, To Conform, comes out in, I believe, September or October. So there's yet another fantasy sci-fi book that's coming out the end of this year. So added to the 5 billion fantasy new releases that are coming out. I swear to God, that's all I'm going to be reading September to October. So got to start my ACOTAR reread over the summer probably. So yeah. And Crescent City. I have to start Crescent City in August probably. So fantasy books are just going to take over my life the second half of this year. But, you know. And I really want to read the Red Rising series as well. But I'm going to probably make a whole video of like series and books that I really want to read the second half of 2026, or just like priority series and books that I want to read in 2026. And I also want to make a reread list of like the top 10 books that are on my list to reread this year. So yeah, that is it. And I'm going to stop rambling, but I just wanted to mention those. So yeah, bye. Oh, and also I'm 20% into the Mad Wave already. So yeah, I'm already reading that. I was just really wanting to go into it next. I was just in the mood for it. I am reading Hamnet right now. I'm almost 200 pages in, so I'm almost done with that book. I'm just not loving it. It's good, but like I'm not like obsessed with it. And then I'm probably gonna cry at the end or something. But I don't know. I'm just reading it so I can watch the movie. It's like okay. It's still good. I'm probably still gonna give it a 4-star, but even though it's short, I'm not like having the desire to read it. So I'm reading like other books while I'm reading it. So I already, like I said, finished The Humans, and now I started The Mad Wave. And again, I'm already 20% into it, and I'm obsessed. I love it. It's so good so far. So yeah. Probably gonna finish that again well, I'm still gonna finish in April, but at least it'll already be one book down in April with our never-ending new release list in April. So yeah. And then I'll probably go into Starside and Game On and what's the other one? What We Did to Survive and The Fairway Inn. So we will see what we go into next. So yeah, that's it. Bye.